a lot of really exciting games. Liquid versus Alternate is up first, so I hope you're ready to enjoy, and the draft just started. Everybody's loaded in, so let's get into it. Once again, I'm Llama Down Under. This first cast, we're going to be doing solo, because it's early here. Looks like co-casters asleep and everything, but I'm sure it'll be a blast. So these two teams, Liquid, I believe, has won the last time that they faced off. At the same time, Team Alternate just took a win over Arcade, which is also known as Power Rangers, and they also aren't doing, they've also taken some games off of teams like Empires, but Liquid is going to be a tough match for them. So I'm interested to see how they do, and whether Alternate goes with the Invoker that they had been picking up pretty much non-stop for Supreme. I think in the last 4 games we'd seen them on Starladder. They had picked up Invoker every single time. So we're going to see some pretty standard picks and bans. I expect this next one to be the Shadow Fiend, because a lot of people don't like having to deal with the Radiant Shadow Fiend, since it's so much easier to stack and get yourself a lot of farm. But I might also go to ban out something which some of Liquid players are known for, like the Tusk, which it isn't. It's going to be the IO. Jarex can obviously play that one well too, but this leaves Liquid open for the Shadow Fiend, the Tusk. There's a lot of good things left in the pool, and that may have actually been Alternate's plan. We've been seeing some teams, you maybe leave in 3 or 4 good heroes going into the next round, and then instead you manage to get yourself that 2 OP hero. Either way, we're gonna be seeing what else they've got for us. Shadow Fiend on the Dire, it's not awful, but going for the Bane Doxia, nice way to deal with people coming at you from out of a snowball, so I like that too. And Bane, obviously a really strong hero. It's always funny to see Bane, not exactly thought of as a super great zoner before the changes, but with Iron Sap becoming significantly less mana, you can just kind of go mid, harass, maybe you get to half health, you brain sap the opposing mid, and then your mid is having a grand old time. So, also something fun to see.
Reserve time.
We're also going to be waiting for Team Liquid. I mean, I have to think the Shadow Fiend's really strong here. They may also pick up another hero that Fodder's a bit well known for, or get their other support out of the way. I don't think it's super necessary now, but it's definitely something where Rubik is really strong, and just because you're already up against a Doxia Bane, so I wouldn't be surprised if they try to pick that one up. But instead, it's going to be that Shadow Fiend that we talked so much about. And I feel like now Alternate have some options for things to ban out. I mean, if you give Liquid all their comfort heroes, you're gonna have a bad time. So I think banning out some of Matumba Man's strong heroes, maybe even the Ember Spirit here, although they have decent lockdown on Alternate with that Fiend's Grip. It's just the Bane's gonna have to be handling that, making sure he's not stunned up by a Tusk with Snowball. And then there's also the worry that even if you Fiend's Grip any of these heroes, the Tusk can come along and just stuff them in the Snowball for the duration, which means it just doesn't matter that you've caught someone out.
Team Liquid's turn to ban.
Instead, they go with a Night Stalker ban. It's an interesting pick. It also could have been Mind Control playing the Tusk offlane. It's really funny because Team Liquid has, I think, an 80% win rate with Tusk. And both Jarex and Mind Control play the hero exceptionally well. So they certainly had options there of what they were going to run. But if they ran Night Stalker and Tusk as a support, this can certainly be a really scary lane, but it's also something where it kind of makes you have a little bit weaker overall laning presence, just because you are too melee, not as easily able to harass. But Alternate go to ban out the Hell lane of Undying and Tusk, and they're going clearly with an all-purple hero strat. So, Dazzle really strong, but they do... I mean, Alternate hasn't really shown their hand for whatever carry they're going for, which is always nice. It does give Team Liquid less opportunities to counter them. On the other hand, Team Liquid now, knowing all about these supports, they can maybe pick up something tankier,
remaining.
which doesn't have to worry about the heal bomb or the brain sap coming out of
5
Bane.
seconds remaining.
Additionally, just
Reserve
a
time.
small thing to mention, we do have penalty time in effect. I believe both teams received a level 1 penalty on drafting, so this should make the draft relatively quicker, although not necessarily gonna fly by or anything. So. And for Team Liquid, I actually still really like the Rubik here. I think it's another nice way to stop the Bane's Fiend's Grip. There's a plethora of great spells to steal that just get even better when you have no cost point. And of course, everything out of Bane, everything out of Dazzle great, but they go with Avenge. So the big openings of a minus armor strat. It's going to be interesting to see what they pick up next. And we've seen a lot of teams, maybe when they're faced with someone like the Dazzle, they pick up the Lich instead, saying that, hey, we'll get ourselves some armor. But instead, they go with the Venge, and yeah, it's Supreme's Invoker again. Nobody's surprised because we've been seeing this guy play this hero over and over. And with that, we're going to be seeing the Clockwork as the offlane. I mean, usually in these games we see a lot of offlaners banned out. You can argue that Doom, Nightstalker, and Dying, Slaughter, all strong offlaners. And Clock isn't someone we've been seeing picked up a lot. I'm also a little bit surprised here because I feel like Invoker could just tornado up the Clock. Supreme has been playing a lot of Quas Wex, and then Darkseer, of course, can vacuum the Clockwork out of his own cogs, make his harassment of another hero not as good. But it is, you know, in the right hand, a very strong offlaner, and he has an easier way to get to the creeps than maybe other heroes, of course, being able to cogs block people back. So it's gonna be, cogs block those creeps back. So it's gonna be interesting to see how he fares. Mind Control, though, obviously a very strong offlaner, so I think he'll be fine. And additionally, I really like the Tusk Venge combo that's now coming out. You know, Tusk does actually have quite hard right click, so you're going to have a long amount of lockdown. Snowball's a shorter stun, but then of course Venge has that single target magic missile. Invoker's going to have a hell of a time, and he's probably going to need to have Ghost Walk at the ready. So, and Team Alternate ban out the Jug, a super powerful carry right now. I really like him for, he comes online, I think, a lot earlier than some other heroes, and he could be a real pain here for Alternate, although they have a couple ways, arguably, of dealing with him, since they can make some illusions. Invoker has Ghost Walk, but the moment people have dust around, I mean, as Jug gets levels, those illusions will be ripped right through, and you might not be able to get the Shallow Grave off in time. But Team Liquid, of course, have other fallbacks. I mean, they've shown strong carry games with heroes like Ember. I think Matumba Man is the most famous for. So just banning out one hero, I wouldn't be surprised if they have a lot of comfort other hit picks. And Ursa, not what I was expecting. This could be a level 1 Roshan. It would take a really long time, I feel, but it might be possible depending on the itemization. I'm not sure if Team Alternate's gonna be going for it. But I am excited to see it. My only concern here, of course, for Ursa is it does feel like heroes like Clockwork with that battery assault can be really painful. This is an Ursa that needs BKB. On the upside, there are a lot of things, there are very few things here that go through the BKB stuns, but Venge can, remove you around. So maybe you're Ursaing on someone's face, Venge just swaps you with her, and suddenly you're on the outskirts of a fight again. It'll be interesting to see how that's handled. And they go with a Leshrac, another almost surprising pickup, because he does have to get up in close and personal to whoever he's fighting with, which you don't want with an Ursa. And also, Invoker's probably going to have a great time with that EMP combo, but Leshrac, certainly someone who's able to output a lot of damage, and if they can catch the Ursa when his enrage is down, they should be able to do good work there. Additionally, I feel Leshrac, since he's a natural Yules carrier, has a nice play there where you can Yules off the Enrage, or at least take the entire duration. I'm pretty sure you can Yules it off, though. So, and with that, folks, we'll be headed into the game when everybody picks up their heroes.
5 seconds remaining.
So with that, folks, we're going into it. We have game 1 between Alternate and Liquid. I do believe most people are favoring Liquid to take it, but I have hopes that we'll get to see big things out of Supreme's Invoker. He's been playing this a lot, and it's really been posting some great results. I mean, he has a lot of game impact early, which you'd expect from a Quas-Wex Invoker, but he's also been able to seal the deal on a few of their games. So let's get into it. We've got L. Lishash, or who we call L on the Bane, Robert on that Dazzle Invoker being played up by Supreme, Darkseer being played by Nisha, and finally Exotic Deer on the Ursa. He also plays a lot of Gyrocopter. I was a little bit surprised that wasn't a hero that got shown a bit more love, but deciding it wasn't fantastic against this draft. Probably because there's so many ways for people to get up in his face, like the Tusk and the Clockwork, especially if the Clockwork gets a Blade Mail. You're really in a bad spot as a Gyro. Now, Matumba Man gonna be on that Leshrac. Clock being played by Mind Control. Jerax on his very famous Tusk, which makes me completely afraid for the opposing mid. Even as boots first, somebody's going to be taking snowballs to the face. Fodder on that Shadow Fiend, and finally Kuroki on the bench. They're being zoned out in top rune, so we're going to probably see the standard split. Invoker should take top, Shadow Fiend will take bottom bounty. Invoker actually takes a while to get there. Now, mid matchups for Invoker, if he doesn't go Exort, which he's not, he traditionally loses. It's also something where even if Shadow Fiend was having a bit of a rough time, if there's maybe an early Dazzle or Bane here, Shadow Fiend can catch back up really quickly using jungle stacks. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see Supreme a little bit down when it comes to CS when we check back in on the 5-minute mark. But actually it's going to be Jerax coming in here to zone. I think it makes a lot of sense. He's a bit tankier. Venge not going to offer as much with just a single target stun, versus Jerax can potentially get off an Ice Shards here. It'll put someone in a world of hurt, and we can see that Bane doing what Bane does, gets right up on their high ground, going to use that Brain Sap right back up to full health, despite how much Fodder does hurt when he hits you. And yeah, Fodder getting himself 2 souls. On the other hand, we're seeing Darkseer taking a lot of damage. I mean, I bet he's wishing he came to lane with a salve. Kuroki showing a good ability to kill, and he may be able to go in for it. There's a magic missile up, it's level 1, but they've got him cut off, and that is going to be our first blood. Kuroki actually taking the kill, while at the same time we're diving onto Fodder. I'm not sure this is the right call. We've already used that cold snap on him, and now the Ice Shard's blocking L out of position. Oh goodness, L should be our second blood. 2 more auto attacks, or just 1, and that is a disaster in the mid lane. We're also even throwing out the snowball onto Supreme. Fodder is in the snowball. I think they have the auto attacks, especially if they can get another raise off, but Supreme staying right up in close, making sure they can't. It's not enough, and he goes down. So a really strong opening coming out of Liquid, to say the least, and kind of out of nowhere putting 3 kills up on the board. It's not
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
It's not awful. I'm not saying the Invoker can't recover, but we've kind of got 2 out of 3 lanes being dominated by Liquid, and up top, while Exotic Deer is farming a lot, Ursa's gonna have to do mad work if there's any hope of him doing anything. And another hero in trouble, Nisha. He's gonna be taking a lot of damage. The Howl being used, the beautiful Ice Shards block off, and a couple more auto attacks, especially with that Howl should be enough. Jarek's finishing him with a snowball. So we've 2 kills a minute on the upside. Downside, it's looking a little one-sided so far. They're going in on Mind Control though. They have the Bear Man right in position. They throw out the Dazzle heal, and he has got them in the cogs. Not quite where Mind Control wanted them. And with that, Alternate get themselves on the board. Easy haste rune picked up there for L on that Bane. So now looking at overall game plans, I think that it's something where there's a little bit easier. Oh goodness, Supreme taking a snowball. He should be able to just walk it off, but the Venge is here with the stun, and the auto attacks are more than enough. Neither of these 2, I believe, have detection on them, and Bane, he's not actually able to leave this lane, I think, with all of this aggression. The heroes on Liquid too mobile, and TPs will come in too late when you're up against a Tusk and a Venge, and this is the combo we were worried about in the draft. Coming out, doing good work. But, oh, and in bottom, we've got Matumba Man doing a lot of damage. Can he get off the low speed of the Edict? He does. Holy Hannah, guys, this game is not giving us time to talk about the rest of it, so... Now, I wanted to say, I think that Liquid's lineup is a little bit easier to execute. They have more conventional carries. They have nice combos like the Snowball into an Edict all over here, or a Snowball into Venge, getting off a kill. And actually, I have to point this out. Jerax already has Mana Boots. We're less than 4 minutes in. Already has Mana Boots. He's going to lose a lot of mana, but no, he just snowballs to the creep wave, avoiding that EMP. And now, Nisha, he's desperately trying to get something out of bottom lane. Waiting for that next bounty, I think is what he's hoping for. Gets a regen. I mean, you denied it to Jerax, who is very low. At the same time, you probably would have enjoyed a little bit more getting some extra experience. And oh goodness, they get the Ice Shards block. He should be able to wander around, the stun not coming out, and Jerax actually quite low. So, nice little play from Nisha, surging away. I want to say, I think just Clockwork hooking in onto the Invoker. Mind Control, gonna take a bit of damage, but he's got them outside of the cogs, and he's actually got L under tower, taking a lot of fire. They eat their way through the cogs, but here comes Kuroki. Mind Control doesn't have any mana to go on this, so that should be the end of that. You know, you've got a Shadow Fiend that's farming up a Storm. You can snowball him in after the Clockwork hookshot. He can get off a big Requiem of Souls. He can also easily just stand on the outskirts of the fight, get up that Sanjin Yasha, maybe an early mech, although I wouldn't be surprised if Jerax is on mech duty, given how dominant his farm is right now. I mean, I just want to talk about, it's the 4th net worth. He has 3 kills, 1 assist to his name. It's a bit ridiculous. Versus alternate, it feels like they're going to need a lot of setup for this Ursa, and of course, even with that setup, while Vacuum Wall into a lot of Invoker's spells can be devastating damage, Invoker's not going to, since he's not an Exort Invoker, he's not going to have things like that Meteor for a while, and unless he suddenly makes a big comeback in this mid lane, gets himself off to a great start, I'm not sure we're going to be seeing a lot of those other than EMP Tornado, Wombo combo spells. They're looking to go in on fodder, they missed the Tornado, and this should be the end of it. Jerax thinking about coming in as well. I'm going to calm down. And also taking a look at the net worth graph, while this is something that can be erased easily in one team fight, it's definitely worrisome that your opponents are already almost 2,000 gold ahead, and I think even more troublesome, the 1,500 experience lead. We can see Nisha only level 3, Clockwork, even though he's died once, is already level 5, and SF, of course, being level 7, while the Invoker's only level 5. That's maybe the most worrisome thing here for alternate. So, gonna have to see how this Invoker tries to catch back up, especially since he's not a hero that is well known for that. So, Dazzle's gonna be running into Mind Control. Battery Assault is at level 1. He's gonna throw up those cogs. There's gonna be a Nightmare. They're gonna work their way through the cogs, walking on through. But now, Mind Control on the other side, and he is wasting so much time. 4 heroes aren't farming. The Ursa might be able to come around, get off some Fury Swipe procs, but there is the Battery Assault. I think that Exotic Deer should have the damage here. One more auto attack. Oh, he's in the cogs with him. He gets it off. At the same time, Liquid have invaded this jungle. Just doing some casual farming, as you're wont to do. So, if anybody wanders in there, they're gonna have a bad time, to say the least. And now, looking to go on to Supreme. He does have a ward spotting this rotation, but Potter could still... No. Looks like Venge going around the long way. So, now, since we've got a lot of gold on the Radiant, we do have a Snowball coming in on the mid lane. Supreme, he's caught out again. The Snowball actually going in onto the catapult. A little bit confused there. But Supreme could have been in for a world of trouble. You can see he had Ghost Walk at the ready. So, we've also got a nice little Nightmare coming out. It'll slow Falter slightly. He also has a Haste Rune. He could probably get a kill on one of these supports. Dazzle or Bane are probably easier to go on the Dazzle, since Nightmare coming out can just kind of stop your engagement really quickly. But that is neither here nor there. Fodder will see what he can do to make a big play out of that. So, now, on bottom lane, Leshrac, despite having quite a few points in Edict,
Dire's middle
Oh, we have an engagement. We have a tornado going up on these two heroes, but Jerax, oh, no mana and no cooldown. Hookshot onto L though, and Supreme now having to back up to the bounty rune. Exotic Deer is ready to go in. He does have level 6, has that Enrage, will reduce a lot of the damage he's taking, but the rest of Liquid are here, and Supreme may be the one in trouble. He does not have Ghost Wolf for at least another 6 seconds, and the Ice Shard blocking him off. He's gonna have to fight. Do they have detection? I don't know if it matters. He goes down with a raise. Just these ganks from Alternate, you know, not connecting the way the ones from Liquid are. And I think it just has to do with the lineup's a lot harder to run. You're going to need a lot more farm on this Ursa. You're going to need a lot more farm on this Invoker, a hero who has no flash farming mechanisms.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Matumba Man now coming up top, using that edict to push the tower a little bit. I was going to say kind of a saving grace on bottom was that normally if a Leshrac is doing so well in lane, you also see a tower push, but of course Ion Shell, an excellent D-push spell, and so it wasn't like Matumba Man got to work away on their tower. Now Kuroki, they've dropped the EMP behind him, Cold Snap keeping him in position, he's going to go down. A nice easy kill for this lineup at the same time for Alternate, but they're losing their top tower. Obviously, always an important tower. Gives a lot of map presence, and if Liquid decide to invade this jungle, I don't think the responses from Alternate will come out in time. Partly because of how fast Liquid can take out these heroes. Oh goodness, this has been spotted 100%. Jerax, he might just get the kill on Exotic Deer. He throws out the Enrage. I think he's trying to get the Roshan beforehand, but will it be stolen? A nice tornado, but Jerax, no, not able to steal it, and he'll die for his insolence. Where are the rest of Liquid though? Exotic Deer is quite low. Shadow Fiend seeing if he can get 2 raises off on Supreme, but a nice Nightmare coming out, and now another tornado. The hook shot onto L, but if they can isolate Fodder over here, they might be able to make it worth their while. A Requiem of Souls, Death Requiem coming out. Kuro may go down on the back lines as well. They managed to do the surge up on Exotic Deer. He should just go for this fight. He does have to respawn here, and now Matumba Man, he is in a bad spot. No mana, no resources, looking to deny himself to creeps, but Brain Sap gonna be what takes him out. So Alternate really winning this lost team fight, and that was some beautiful play from them. I thought Jerax may be able to steal, but unfortunately for him, just a little too early on that roll in. And yeah, this is a 1800 gold swing coming out in favor of Alternate. They desperately needed this when you look at the net worth score. So, doing good work, and Liquid probably going to play it a little bit safer after losing that team fight. Now, let's see what's going on around the map, because it is 10 minutes in. We're going to have some nice little item pickups. Invoker's saving up a lot. He could be going for Orchid. It's something that Supreme really likes to go for. And I don't see, I mean, Yules could be okay for this Invoker as well. There are a couple less things to worry about coming out of Leshrac if you go Yules. But I think Supreme has options either way. We've also got a lot of gold on Ursa, and I have to imagine this is him building into the Blink, since he hasn't chosen to finish up the Vlads. He had a lot of gold all of a sudden, and you can certainly be flexible with what you want to build. Also, Fury Swipes, I believe, was changed, so he has options there as well. Now, L, this is completely spotted, and Kuroki is just going to TP all the way out, not wanting to deal with any of this. I think the wise choice, but this does open up, getting the tower down bottom, and of course that'll help Supreme's farm some more. And he has bought up something. I'm be 100% sure what it is. Are they coming into mounted defense Bane? I'm not quite sure if this is the wise decision. He's going to be ice sharded out. The tower's still not in deny range, so at least it'll be saved for now. But Exotic Deer, he's the one who comes in very close to that Blink Dagger. If he falls here, they're going to be mightily frustrated. And at the same time, Matumba Man just doing Matumba Man things. A hook shot onto the creep wave. I think he thought Supreme was up there. Didn't quite see the initiation on that engagement. But Bane is looking to use that Fiend's Grip. Has level 6. A lot of creeps around here, actually getting a nice little stack out there. And all of Liquid in this jungle, kind of just chilling, seeing what they can do. I think that they're backing out here. So. And I'm really surprised by this, given the farm on Tusk. I was expecting him to be the mech carrier, but Fodder going for this. This does mean that the fight comes online earlier for Team Liquid. Arguably, I mean, definitely a strong choice when you consider that Darkseer here, he's already gone up for Wall even though he's only level 8. We see some people hold it, some people like to take it at just level 6, but this does mean that Alternate deciding that they're super ready to fight, and they're gonna have a strong mid-game with Invoker as long as Ursa picks up that Blink Dagger, which he just got his hands on. So, gonna be good coming out of him. Now Kuroki, he's hiding in the trees. I think hoping that somebody comes out here and he can set something up, but he is probably just going to need to TP away at this rate since he has no backup, and they have a little bit of a gank coming out onto the bottom lane. This Leshrac isn't going to know what hit him. He actually dropped his shoes. I think he managed to pick them all the way back up, and yeah, he's going down. Goodbye, Matumba Man. Almost has that Yules though, and as we mentioned, I'm pretty sure it removes Enrage, and even if it doesn't, it is over half the duration of that spell, so pretty good. Now, we're going to be taking a look-see over. They have done a really good job on Alternate, not only tying up the kill score, never mind about that though. Requiem of Souls on the side, we see Mind Control go down, Fodder looking like he's going to wander away, and Exotic Deer really showing off the power of that Enrage, taking 80% less damage from all sources, and now Alternate have evened up the kill score, have evened up the gold, and experience actually in their favor, so they're suddenly doing pretty dang well. Their Invoker's still a little bit behind when we look at levels, a full level behind Otter on that Shadow Fiend. But he's getting there, and he's got a point up in Exalt now. Lots more spells, lots more potential Wombo combo, although of course his Exalt spell is going to be super weak. So Weave does come out, and they managed to catch the Fiend's Grip onto Matumba Man. If Exotic Deer can do some damage, he's taken out already before the fight can begin. A nice wall, and suddenly 2 quick kills. Exotic Deer doesn't have the Aegis here, but just blinks away before Fodder can do anything. And Invoker, he is coming in off of the sidelines, just probably going to pound away at the tower some. A really fantastic start coming out of Alternate, and they have poised themselves. We talked about how strong their mid-game was. That was an engagement without Invoker being there. This just Bane catching someone out with that Requiem of Souls doing so much work. They've got a Tornado, it's going to hit on Jerax. I'm not sure they followed this up, but Bear Man is. Exotic Deer going in. We have a swap, but it wasn't enough, and now so many people. EMP going to just hit on Fodder. Supreme could be thinking about going in for more, but it might be easier just to get this mid tower and get out, but I don't quite think they have the damage without Exotic Deer hitting on it for that duration. So unfortunately for Alternate, no game objective obtained there. They do get a bunch of kills, put themselves in a good position. Suddenly, 2 members or 3 members of Alternate in the top 5 gold. And Clockwork, out of nowhere, I mean, we weren't expecting him to, you know, do more than tie his lane. He's really just there to get experience, maybe get a last hit every now and again with Rocket Flare. But considering that he did max Rocket Flare, I'm really surprised that he is having such a rough time getting any sort of farm. And part of this is most likely due to the fact that he's sitting at 4 deaths. I mean, taking a look around, Ursa's 4-0. Tusk started out, I mean, I think at minute 5, Tusk was 3-0-1. Hasn't made too much improvement from there, and now the Bane catching up a lot from those early deaths. So, but while all of this is happening, though, I have to commend Liquid. Taking a look at Liquid's vision, they do have some deep wards. Is one of these expiring? One of these may have been a panic ward coming out, but we do see very little in the way of map vision coming out for Alternate, and I think a lot of that just because, yeah, they've gotten dewarded at some opportune times. So they also don't have smokes, which could just be, they do have one on L. And we'll see. Oh, as I say, they have one on L. L expends it, going for the gank. They have, oh gosh, Mind Control walking into them again. Gonna be a Fiend's Grip. They're giving him up on Liquid. Mind Control maybe has died one too many times, but this does maybe mean they can go for more. Nothing to stop, nothing to interrupt their spells with the hook shot down. Venge would have to get right up and close to really disrupt them, and I think if she's too close, she dies. Fodder, he doesn't have an escape. He has a mech. Oh goodness, he's just gonna stand there. Is there a full stall or anything? Kuroki trying to swap him away, but he's gonna swap him into more danger. Requiem of Souls isn't able to come out. They even use the Nightmare. Fodder gonna go down, and now they can just come back for Kuro. On the back lines, it also looks like they lost the Dazzle. Oh, it looks like Dazzle went down over here, and now Nisha in a lot of trouble too, but they managed to catch Venge. And we've got kills all over the map. This game is a slugfest. I mean, European Dota, I'm not used to having 2 kills a minute, but we got action everywhere going down. I think though, yeah, alternate on top of this. A hook shot down onto Exotic Deer, the immediate tornado, but here comes the rest of the team. Kamatomba men do damage. There are a lot of creeps around, and he's gonna take a big EMP. They do Walrus punch up Exotic Deer, but he is just turning around, hitting them, life stealing. I think they have the damage to knock him out. They finally take out the raid boss that is Ursa, but they're turning it around. They catch two. I think taking out Ursa, good for Liquid there, and if they can take out some more, but you don't want to have it be so costly over and over. And yeah, they do end up taking the better of that engagement despite it being a 2-for-1. Let's also take a look around. I'm sure with all of this death, all of this destruction, we're going to be seeing some new items come out. We're going to be seeing Kuro picking up treads, actually. Sometimes seeing early medallion. Actually, let's check out what Jarek's has, because he could also be potentially a medallion carrier. His form, I mean, after that early start where he was like 4th on the net worth, falling off, but this makes a lot of sense. He is playing a support Tusk. So, I wanted to say, Benj going for treads, a bit unusual. Not awful here or anything. You have to tank up a little bit, it feels, against this lineup. And I do think while a medallion could be nice, it doesn't help a huge amount. I mean, Fury Swipes are going to stack up either way. So, it'd be interesting to see whether Solar Crest eventually will be the name of the game. Trying to maybe force Ursa into picking up an MKB, a pretty expensive item for him. He's also just running around being a bear. Speaking of Ursa, already has that basher up. Hasn't chosen to finish a Vladimir's offering or anything. Of course, the change to Fury Swipes gives him a lot more options for attack modifiers. So, could just be like, no, lifesteal's all I need, bros. That's what we're doing. Bane has Mono Boots. I didn't really expect any more on that hero. Invoker, though, goes for drums, goes for the kill on the illusion while they pick up the Roshan. And part of the beauty of Ursa means that in about, you know, somewhere 8 to 11 minutes, we're going to be seeing a cheese Roshan drop. Obviously something that Invoker would love, Doxia would love. Speaking of Doxia, mech finished on him. I have to imagine he's saving up for a Blink Dagger, and this is going to make life even harder for Liquid. Oh, L going out really far, though. He's alone, and they may decide to turn around on this, and yeah, Leshrac going in. They have a snowball. L going to pay for it for his life. That should have been a self-nightmare. Instead, he goes down. Oh, Bearman coming in, but as we can see, that enraged. He pops it after the ult. A nice vacuum, but where's the wall, Nisha? Hasn't dropped that. Had the mana. Not quite sure what's going down. He needs to wall at some point, but Exotic Deer going to burn through that first life. He's trying to wait 20 seconds for the next setup, but I think you just have to drop the wall. Requiem of Souls comes out a little bit too early. Exotic Deer, he doesn't have that ult, and now he's going to go down. Alternate being ripped apart at the seams. I have to say a lot of that, I think, on Nisha for not dropping that wall, and he really had, I mean, there was no silence, no nothing stopping him. I think he just decided he whiffed the vacuum wall combo and wasn't going to go for it, but it would have stopped a lot of the aggression coming out of Exotic Deer, and I think could have salvaged a lot of that team fight. So Alternate immediately throwing away that Roshan advantage and putting the net worth right back down to 0, maybe even in Liquid's favor. This is a back and forth game. Otter, working on that Sanjin Yasha, he's about to get really tanky, and I think that this tower is gone no matter what they do. Clockwork has picked up an urn. I think in this game it's not so easy to go for a Blade Mail because there aren't, I mean, other than Ion Shell, there aren't so many uncontrollable sources of damage like you would have against a Gyro, where the Gyro can't say, stop my rocket barrage. At the same time, a forced off seems always like a good way of getting people away from Ursa since he's melee, pretty easy to kite, and Clockwork may just build into that. It can also help if an Ice Shard is out of position, or maybe he actually hookshots but wants to forced off away, or wants to hookshot in, forced off, and Cog split up the enemy team, which is definitely a possibility. That was a false death, is all I have to say on that one. Clockwork going down pretty much immediately. They even use the vacuum to make sure he doesn't get away. Now, Doxia does have the Blink Dagger finished up, and maybe this will mean that we're going to see that wall vacuum combo we deserve in this action-packed game. So, Tusk also saves up for the Blink Dagger. Not unusual. I really would have liked to see Fodder maybe go for some more damage. I know it would have delayed the mech. Excuse me, early morning here. It would have delayed the mech until right about now for the lineup of the Radiant, but I definitely would approve of it overall. Kuroki goes down on the bench. He does give Invoker that minus damage aura, of course. And Invoker's actually still playing pretty far up. He's Ice Shard caught out. They might finally be able to take the mid tower here.
Incoming.
Mind control. He has a hook shot at the ready. Where is his support? We're going to be seeing the blink away and Supreme probably calling that out, that they have to be a little bit careful because Tusk now has a blink dagger. So, now, we're going to be seeing what's going on. The Tumberman just still working away at top. He's decided to build into a Bloodstone. It of course got nerfed, lost patch. The respawn time not as good, and so on. But I think it's still a great pickup. Leshak in general got nerfed. He does still feel very dominant if he can get up farm. It's just his farm requirements are a lot higher than they used to be. So, it'll be interesting to see exactly what he decides to pick up next. I wouldn't disapprove of him walking straight into a sheepstick here, because I think, because Supreme get the kill, he has the Orchid up, but where is his damage output? He needs something, and he doesn't have anything to invoke. Supreme may actually be the one to go down here. Hookshot, he's thrown up into the air onto a Eul's, he's going to be cogged, pushed back, and he is gonzo. Way overstepping where he should be there. I think overestimating his damage without the right spells invoked, and a nice win for Liquid. We can see they get a big kill there, because Supreme had a big kill streak, and if they want, they can pick themselves up that Invis rune. We're also going to be seeing a Walrus Punch going in on here, over on Denisha, does vacuum again, no wall, no mana this time, has an excuse. I think Exotic Gear needs to back out though, he's going to be stunned up soon if he's not careful. Ice Shards, Nisha's in a lot of trouble, he needs some way to get mana back, and without their Invoker, their team fight is a bit underwhelming. Exotic Gear stunned out, and now L, the Fiend's Grip is used, but it's not going to do enough. Robert healing himself up, trying to keep L alive for as long as possible. Cogs push back onto Robert, and L is going to go down. Nisha just TPing out, and they have given up this bottom tower. Another kill the way of Liquid, and we take a look at this net worth chart, definitely trending up in their favor. Now, one good team fight, we've seen this game play out before, one good team fight could mean the win for them on alternate, but they have given away a lot here. And this Dogs here, I have to say, wall vacuum combo that I feel like we deserve to see so well. They also saw that smoke coming out. So the wall vacuum combo with an Invoker I think can be super powerful. We're not seeing it coming out of Nisha. Not sure whether he ran out of mana. Not sure whether he's just waiting too long to try and catch the perfect one. We've definitely seen that before, but they're having some trouble. He actually surges up the Invoker, gonna make sure they get off the EMP Tornado combo. There is going to be Clockwork going down. Maybe not the big kill though that they were looking for with that smoke. Certainly a good gold exchange, either way. Tumberman still forming up a Storm. Shiva is going to be the next item he goes for. Awesome against an Ursa, of course, slowing down that attack speed, working towards kiting him. I'm expecting Fodder to also go for a Scotty next, because it makes it so much easier to deal with the Ursa, and also just tanks you up a little bit. But speaking of Ursa, Exotic Deer going in, hitting people as he does, and oh gosh, Fodder, he needs some help. He does not have the mech. It's been used, and a couple more auto attacks, but the Nightmare, the Fiend Script even being used. Kuro going to be taking quite a bit of damage as well. Exotic Deer has to be careful, but he gets the stun procs from that Basher, and suddenly they are looking ready. This is what I was talking about. We're going to be seeing, when it settles down, a nice big old swing for alternate attacks. And this game, even as really liking it, I do still think Liquid, if the game goes late, they just had better options for dealing with an Ursa. A lot of different ways to kite and stun him out. You know, Tusk has Ice Shards that can block him out. Snowball, Walrus Punch is actually a disable because of the airtime and the slow, because you can Walrus Punch someone and then blink away. Clockwork, he's very underleveled. Oh no, well, he's a bit underleveled too, but he's very underfarmed. Is going for that Blade Mail, but I still think he has good crowd control with the hook shot and maybe Cogs splitting up a team fight. I mean, if Ursa's isolated, even within rage, your whole team should be able to take him out. And he's finished up that BKB though, so killing him off just got a whole lot harder, folks. Tumberman wandering around very close to the Shivas, about 1300 gold away from that. And Clockwork needs another 750 to get off ye old Blade Mail, so. Benj roaming around. I have to imagine this is a 4-star or a Eul's coming out of her as well. It's Also, potentially, I mean, when Lestrak started out, I was thinking if they had a good start, Lestrak could even afford to go for an Atos, kind of another kiting tool against the Ursa. It's a bit greedy, although it does supply a huge amount of int for you. And I really think that has to be considered as a really big win. Jerax taking a lot of damage. Will they have the soul bone? It looks like they will, and Invoker getting the kill there. That's a target you can kill. Also has gone back for the Midas. I feel like this Midas came out after the Orchid. I could be wrong on that. Shame on me for not clicking on Invoker's inventory more. So, it is a 4-staff out from Kuroki. I think this is really nice. You know, you can obviously swap someone 4-staff them even further away. He can swap someone really deep into his team. If they pick off the Ursa, a lot of the damage output's gone. Or if they pick off the Invoker, where does the team fight go now for alternate? You know, no Invoker. We saw in the team fight that occurred down here. No Invoker. Not too much they can do. And let me introduce you all to drawing on the map when you were the main broadcaster. This happens. It's, actually terrifying. So, Bane got the Glimmer Cape up. It's gonna help a lot against some of this initiation, and of course against Lestrak, who other than the Edict is all magical, all supreme. He's going in for the Tornado. They do have Jerax here on the back lines, ready to blink in and snowball, so he should be fine. And actually, Doc's here over there as well.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Got the rest of Liquid going in, going for a smoke, gonna see what they can find, and Robert is what they find. Goodbye, Dazzle. Actually manages to get off the shallow grave. He's going down, but this is a big delay, and it makes the kill take a while, allows the rest of the team to easily get out. And are they going for a smoke themselves? It looks like instead they might be trying to find a kill here. They don't have vision. Actually, Bearman just going into Roshan, decided not to blink in. I think pretty questionable. And now they are fighting in this 4v5. I mean, Invoker should be able to zone people out from the entrance of the Roche pit, but kind of questionable. Alacrity is put up on Exotic Deer, and right now it's the Alacrity of attack speed. You know, obviously going to be giving not that much damage, but a lot of attack speed, and the rest of them might be thinking about going in. They need to go in fast, though, as Snowball coming out onto L, and now Matumba Man is here. Goodbye, Bane. Exotic Deer has picked up the Aegis. Took him a while because the ice shells are there. He might just feed away his life, but they're pulled up to the high ground. There is the wall vacuum we so deserve. Nisha, though, he's going to take a full Requiem of Souls. There's a BKB. Exotic Deer manages to get himself up there. He's pounding away on people. Can he kill enough of them, though, in the time? He has the BKB. He has the Basher. He needs another Frenzy, and I think the Overpower not coming out, he's not going to do enough damage, and that was just a devastating team fight for alternate. I mean, we see it again. Wall vacuum not enough. They have too much to clear, and they tried to fight 4v5 and lost out because of it. Actually going to swap his teammate out. Yeah. This game, I mean, we're right back down to even. Like, what is going on? Nobody's firmly in the driver's seat. I have to say, either way, I'm impressed with alternate. I think a lot of people really expected Liquid to dominate this one. I don't have the odds on hand, but I'm willing. I'm not a betting man. A variety of reasons, one being I'm not a man, but I'm willing to bet that the odds were somewhere around, I mean, they could have even been as high as 80, so. Now, alternate here, they have to be careful. They're trying to fight again without their Bearman, and in comes the Walrus Punch. We're going to be seeing Ashivas, a lot of people in those cogs, and I fear they're going down, but a nice vacuum coming out of Nisha. No wall follow-up, of course, because it's still on cooldown from that last team fight. Are they really not dead yet? Kuroki with the swap, saving lives, but Terex goes down. Mind control as well. Are they somehow going to pull this out? Alternate fighting 4v5, and Bearman is coming in. He could just go onto Matumba Man's longest TP of his life, decides just to bomb. I don't know, guys. I need a replay button to see where these fights are going wrong. Because I definitely felt like when Alternate got the 3-man vacuum onto the high ground, that should have been a win. But Shadow Fiend, BKB, Requiem of Souls did not care, wiped away all the illusions, and now they take it 4v5 for Alternate. Just a little bit of an overextent in the Fiend script being cancelled by Kuroki, but it didn't seem to matter.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So, with that, let's take a look around at some money. For Liquid, they have a huge amount of Bloodstone charges on Matumba Man. I mean, he's been involved, let's just say. Hasn't died in a while. Doing a great job there. And he's also finished the Shivas, finished the Yules. I think maybe Sheepstick now. Could also potentially think of a BKB because, of course, a lot of the damage coming out of Alternate, they have an Invoker, they have a Doxia. A lot of their damage is magical, and a BKB wouldn't be remiss here. So, wouldn't be surprised to see them go for that. Invoker actually picking up the AC, always a nice pick. This Bearman, though, I do feel like he needs a little bit more to be able to go full Ham Monster. Also, this back spine thing, freaking me out a little. But we have another little engagement. We have the blink away from Jerax. He's going to snowball to the creep wave, trying to get further and further, but Doxia is here. Nice ice shards thrown while in the snowball. I think everybody knows this, but just in case. You can throw spells while you're in the snowball, so really nice to see that being thrown out and blocking out Doxia. Of course, also disabling his blink. I believe it was already on cooldown since he blunk over to get closer, but just in case that wasn't the case, Jerax doing good work. Full pipe up on Doxia. More ways of dealing with the Invoker. Really liking to see that. And Matumba Man just killing trees, doesn't love nature because he wants to get to farming faster. He's actually, it looks like, going to...
And it's off.
Saving up a lot of gold. He could certainly finish off bots. Not sure if it's that stage in the game. I think a BKB would really pay off here. I mean, Leshrac pops BKB. It doesn't matter if else is BKB'd because Invoker no longer has that control. And Alternate... Jerax maybe going for this. He probably needs a +1. He drops a ward on Nisha's face. And Nisha just gonna back on out. Also has a pipe. Did I call that? I did call that wrong. Shame on me. That's awkward. The pipe is actually on Alternate. A little bit of brain deadness. Also, we have an engagement over here. What is going on? There's gonna be a tornado. It manages to catch out Matumba Man. They also get the kill on Benj. If they can kill off Matumba Man, this is huge. He's gonna lose so many Bloodstone charges. He goes down to 10. 2 huge pickups coming out from Alternate. I think they need to push an objective. You can see here, they're worried about going bottom. Thinking that maybe Jerax needs to be killed off. Supreme going in. Jerax is going to show himself. Supreme not being shown. And now, oh, he manages to get the blink away and the TP out despite the Orchid. Nothing gonna... Yeah, nothing coming out to stop him. So, tower objectives. They still have a bit of downtime. Of course, Matumba Man's...
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Respawn time lowered by the Bloodstone, but not as OP. I mean, I think back in the old day, if you had 15 Bloodstone charges, it's almost an instant respawn. So, Blade Mail finished up on Clockwork, also has Dust, always important for Invoker, and the Regen Rune. Not having the easiest of game for Mind Control. I don't think I've seen a game in recent memory that I've seen watching Liquid where Mind Control has such little farm and game impact. So, but of course, they can still be big hook shots, just like we're still waiting on the huge wall vacuum combo. Shadowfiend finished up that BKB. I'm hoping for a Scotty next. I think it's a decent amount of damage. Of course, it's not as much damage maybe as a build that involves the Chrysalis or Daedalus or even a Butterfly, but it's still pretty good amount of stats, I believe plus 25, and it tanks you up a lot, and I think the attack modifier is super important here, but Supreme, he's running through them, they see him, oh, he's right under a sentry, Supreme just gonna feed away his life, and now his team, knowing they shouldn't fight in there, they actually force stuff forwards. Jerax seeing what he can find, pops out that sigil, trying to slow people down. AZ, no more disables on him, so there's gonna be just the walk away. Robert trying to get out, manages to dodge. The Warrior's Punch, the snowball coming off cooldown, can he get it? Not quite. And it sounds like Mind Control hookshotted into someone's bottom. So, not gonna catch it out there. I wanted to say, we didn't get to talk about it because of my little mix-up. The pipe coming out from Nisha is pretty nice. I mean, there's a decent amount of magic damage, obviously, out of Leshrac. And also Photo with the Requiem of Souls or Razors, but oh, they're knocking at the door. If Invoker has to buy back for this will be really devastating. We'll put him back on that next item. But we have a Fiend's Grip casually on Matumba Man. A nice vacuum wall, but BKB immediately being popped. Nisha gonna take a lot of damage as the game lags a little bit. But Matumba Man on the back line's already dead. And Exotic Deer going in for more. He finally pops that BKB. He's just eating through the clogs. Doesn't care about your Blade Mail when I go BKB and Fodder paying for that pickup of the Scotty. It's being used, his own illusion kiting him. Finally, the ult comes out of Exotic Deer. I have to say, I love how long he waited on it. And he was taking no damage in it. Fodder is super low. He doesn't have a nice escape. Can they find him here? Oh goodness, the Sunstrike! It gets the kill, and that was... Okay, it's actually quite leveled, the Sunstrike right now, but oh my goodness, Sunstrike. So, alternate showing that even without the Invoker, they can still hold their high ground, and that team fight a little bit more than the fight recap showed, of course, only catching the Invoker kill there. We can see this game, first of all, I want to comment, games that stay within 5,000 gold in experience lead, really, really close in Dota. And I think I have to put a lot of this, honestly, the Ursa pick, a bit unconventional, but doing mad work. He goes for the Deso, actually retiring his lifesteal and questionable, but as we can see from Kuroki literally melting, that was maybe worth it. Oh, Supreme, he's in a lot of trouble. He's dusted up. Fuel's not going to help him out since there's not a self-fuels, and he's going to go down. At the same time, if this buys enough time for them to take bottom tower, arguably worth it. I'm not quite sure, but if they get a bottom tower as well, I do think it makes Invoker Sacrifice there, or Feed, as one may call it, worth it. Unfortunately for them, it's a really long Roshan respawn timer, so even if though they'll pick up a DD as they pass on by, it's not going to help too much. Nice weave just for vision coming out from Dazzle. Yeah, I'm not sure how sold I am on this Deso, but it's also really cheap damage output. And it is something where Ursa needs a lot of damage. He needs to take out Matumba Man, as he's been doing, before these team fights kind of get going. So I have to say I like it a lot. I'm also really liking that we have a game which has 54 kills in 39 minutes. Sometimes in very high-skilled Dota, where a lot of these teams are very patient, we have these slow games, and this one, not slow in the slightest. So, Shadowfiend, I'm kind of expecting him to potentially retire the mech at some point for another damage item, but he's still got a way of slots to go. You know, he can turn these into boots of travel, he can change out the treads, so Fodder doing well on the farm, and doing well in the game in general. Top of that net worth chart, although it's really close with the Ursa. We've also got Jerax picking up a medallion. If he can get up that evasion, it's really going to help out. The Solar Crest going to do good work against the Ursa, and they have made all of the tier 2s gone. Alternate have no more towers there, so if they do take a bad team fight, where is the Sunstrike? Okay, it was just checking Roshan. If there's a bad team fight for Alternate, they can lose a lot, and just because of the state of their towers, their lanes are a bit pushed in. I am worried about their potential to take the next Roshan, but they're thinking about it. They're pinging out. I think that they're worried there's a ward over there. Yeah, they actually go for the check. Who has a gem? Bane does. Oh, goodness. Bane gem, I believe, has been spotted, and we're going to be seeing a big team fight. They're standing right on top of this ward here, so they need to be very careful on the lineup of Alternate. And they decide to back out on Liquid. I believe they know about the Roshan. Bane is being spotted out by that ward as well. Oh goodness, they Sunstrike to get vision on the ward. An interesting decision. A Walrus Punch up on the Forge Spirit, but it's going to scout out Roche either way. And now everybody knows. And this is suddenly the big team fight. As they're pinging it out, they're taking a bit of damage on the tier 3. I don't know how worried I'd be about that, but you have a choice to make here. Liquid, an experienced team, Fodder, forcing them back. He's saying, look, you can take Roshan, we don't care. We'll take your tier 3. Excuse me, but now Fodder is way out of position. I would actually go for the Fiend's Grip here. Of course, there's a lot of backup, and he does. L going in for the Fiend's Grip. There's going to be the swap saving his life. Glimmer Cape coming out on L. But Nisha, wall vacuum, big one coming out. He needs to get the hell on out of there. But here comes the Bearman. BKB active it again. Matumba Man, he's being brought really low. He's not dead yet, though, but a couple more auto attacks. One more. There he goes. Fodder gets up the Requiem of Souls, but it's way too late. They're not reducing damage until then. Nisha maybe going to take a tumble, but Invoker on the sidelines, killing everyone, and Fodder, he's going to fall as well. His illusion slowing him down, and this looks like a repeat of the last fight. Fodder trying to escape over there, dying, and this is easy, Roshan. Light, Sunstrike not going to hit this time, but huge team fight coming out of Alternate, and they have secured themselves a Roshan. I think easily this tier 2, maybe they decide to barrel down bottom as well. It's entirely possible. They've also got a tier 1 standing top, but I actually think, kind of unfortunate for them, it's going to go down. It's going to go down and refresh the glyph coming out of Liquid, which had about a minute and a half on cooldown. So, okay, first bear burns immortal. Oh yeah. So Exotic Deer gonna get that nice easy pickup. And Supreme, more than enough damage now. Has a big buff on that Alacrity, gonna summon up more Forged Spirits and just do good work on this tower. I mean, yeah, your Pithy Rocket's not gonna stop him. The tower is gonna go down top. Unfortunately, poor Liquid, you know, it wasn't... You probably want to get another glyph out of it before it goes down, but no. At least it's refreshed. At least this next push, if it happened in the next 44 seconds, wouldn't be super easy. So, yeah. This game, very back and forth. I mean, even despite this kill score, and yeah, there was a big team fight win there for Alternate, I still think it's well within Liquid's grasp to take the game. 10,000 net worth, worrisome, but it is something where if you can get the BKBs and 10,000 experience, I would argue, almost more worrisome. If you can get the BKBs off during Invoker, trying to invoke on you, obviously a lot of that spell damage will be negated, and these BKBs, I imagine, Shrac's actually still a 9-second, so if they can take out the Ursa here or jump the Invoker. I mean, I think a lot of the trouble is the Ursa jumping in deep. He's now got up the full Abyssal, gonna be doing a lot of good work there. But if they can take out the Ursa somehow, then Invoker's not got that much damage. Well, he does have a lot with Alacrity, but he doesn't have as much damage to take them out, and a lot of the magic is going to be negated by that BKB, so... It's gonna be interesting. We will see, as they say. So, Sigil being killed, nice big ol' fat bounty for them. And Invoker has a lot of gold. Some of this might be saving for buybacks, because we're about that stage of the game. Shadow Fiend and Jerax having theirs, while Supreme and Nisha also have theirs. Good people to have it on. Invoker, next item. I'm a huge fan, I've been saying this over and over. Sorry, I sound like a broken record. I'm a huge fan of Sheepstick coming out. I feel like it's always a great pickup. I mean, you can never go wrong with a Sheepstick, maybe first item. But Exotic Deer working on their towers, burning through them with that Deso. There's going to be the turnaround. Exotic Deer, of course, still has that Aegis. There's going to be a nice weave, and now Matumba Man, if he takes any sort of damage, he's going to melt. We've got 2.5 minutes left on the Aegis as well, so they've got options. They can just choose to keep on sieging slowly like this, backing off every time they have trouble. And we're going to be seeing Exotic Deer. He's going in. He's working. He actually goes deep into their base. Matumba Man being full stuffed away. Exotic Deer is being kited around. He used the BKB here, but a vacuum wall comes out. Derek's going to see about snowballing it through. Fodder should go down, but a beautiful swap coming out of Kuroki. Is it enough? One more auto attack. Fodder explodes. Death Requiem off on the sidelines, and Exotic Deer, he's trying to kill off Matumba Man. Even though he doesn't, he's got a second life, and it looks like the rest of Alternate able to take out Matumba Man. Either way, he manages to get away on a slither of health. They actually leave the gem in the base. Oh, goodness gracious. Not getting the tower either. I actually think a really easy tower there for Alternate, and just showing that they were a little bit afraid. Buybacks massively do come out, so I understand that choice. And they've saved their own gem, weren't quite able to steal the opposing gem, but still, they forced out buybacks, and this puts Liquid even further into the hole. I mean, you were just looking already at Liquid being down. Oh goodness, we see somebody being caught out of position. It's Fodder who just fought back. He can't go down here. It would be a dieback. Snowball saving his life, but they vacuum back Kuroki. One more auto attack should do it. Exotic Deer being stunned up for what feels like years. He's going to try to run around. Finally pops that BKB. He wants Fodder. He manages to get the Abyssal stun off, but it is too little too late. There's going to be a Requiem Souls. The damage being reduced from Exotic's auto attacks coming out, but Supreme, he's seeing what he can get. They have a cold snap, and that's about it. Can they find it on someone? They're still going in on Fodder. The Sunstrike off the mark, but Bear Man, he's in. He gets one. Can he get two? He's being kited really well here. He needs some help from his friendly neighborhood Dazzle, but he gets the kill. One more tower hit. He's gonna be just fine. Oh my goodness. But Tusk is brought back. Exotic Deer needs to blink on out. Supreme working on that tower. And Fodder, Kuroki, they called the GG. I'm pretty surprised here. I understand that they didn't have the buybacks, but I think they had some more fight in them. But with that, we're going to be headed into Game 2, Alternate up a game, and we're seeing Supreme's Invoker doing work. Oh, before it dies, we can see there was a good net worth advantage, and Alternate taking a game I don't think most folks expected them to. Oh, I have, like, completely the wrong names up on the screen? Yeah. That's life. So, once again, folks, thank you all so much for watching. I've been Llama Down Under. Oh, let's see if this is actually going to work today, green screen. Oh, let's just...